not believing in yourself, letting other people affirm you with their words, and learning how to affirm yourself. Hey family, so today I'm going to be going over what books I'm reading now and what books I want to read. I'm going to give you like a brief synopsis of the book, not too much to give it away. I want you to read it for yourself and form your own opinions. So let's jump right into the video. The first book is All About Love by Bell Hooks. My old roommate gave this to me, and I wanted it from her for a while, and then when I moved, she finally gave it to me. So, just to give you a brief synopsis of the book, it's kind of like an analysis of love, I would say, from Bell Hooks' perspective. I'm gonna read a little bit of it to you, but not giving too much away. So, it's chapter 2. I wanted to show you just so you can get an understanding. So, chapter 2 is Justice, Childhood, Love Lessons. We learn about love in childhood, whether our homes are happy or troubled, our families functional or dysfunctional. It's the original school of love. I cannot ever remember wanting to ask my parents to define love. So basically, the book is like an analysis of love. It's analyzing her perspective of love in a couple different forms. And then I'll also go over the chapters with you, so you can get kind of like an understanding of what I'm trying to say. So first is Touched by Love, Give Love Words. So it's kind of like give love words, speak love into other people. Childhood Love Lessons, which is chapter 2, which I kind of just went over for you just a little bit. Be True to Love, Let Love Be Love in Me, Divine Love, Values, Living by a Love Ethic, Simply Love, Loving Communion, The Heart of Love, Sweet Love, Loving into Life and Death, Redemption Love, When the Angels Speak Love. So basically, I think this is an overall great book for, she like talks about dysfunctional love, functional love. So basically, even if you are somebody who's coming up in a household where you were always shown good ways of how to love, we still all, can learn in every arena in life. I think that if you stop growing, if you stop learning, you stop growing. So you always want to be learning, and everybody in the world knows something that you don't know, and you can learn from everyone. So basically, I think this is a great read. And yeah. So the next book I want to talk about is the Mental Toughness Handbook by Damien Damon Zaharides. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, comment down below how to say his last name, because I really don't know. I've gone all up and through this one. And in a previous video, I read something that I found important in the book. So I'm going to read a different section now. This is a mental toughness handbook. And basically, it's teaching you how to get past those negative thoughts, get past the lack of confidence you have, and really have confidence in yourself, positive manifestation, affirmations, and then just how to just get out of the hole of like not believing in yourself, letting other people affirm you with their words, and learning how to affirm yourself. I hope that's a good way to describe it. I'm going to read a little bit of this book to you as well. I'm going to read one of the parts that I had underlined. All right, so for this book, it's talking, okay. So basically, this part of the chapter talks about 8 sworn enemies of mental toughness. So basically, these are your enemies of mental toughness. These are the things that will keep you from forming mental toughness. I'll just read the paragraphs. So it's self-pity, self-doubt, your inner critic, fear, laziness, perfectionism, emotionalism, self-limiting beliefs. And then he also talks about the road forward, and the end was like an exercise on you just jotting down which one of those that you relate to, why, how, like what you should do to fix it. But the part that I underlined in here was on fear, and I think we can all relate to this. But for fear, it says fear comes into a lot of flavors. Fear comes in a lot of flavors. We fear disappointing others. We fear not meeting their expectations. We fear not meeting our own expectations. We fear failure. We fear success. We fear the unfamiliar and unknown. Regardless of its form, fear sabotages our psychological resilience. It erodes our resolve, releases unhealthy emotion, and fear causes us to focus on potentially negative outcomes. We freeze up, overwhelmed by the possibility of disaster. I'm going to skip to the end. Once the latter develops, fear is rendered powerless. Fear is an emotion that opposes the development of mental toughness. Once the latter develops, fear is rendered powerless. So basically, I really liked the book because I felt like there were so many things in the book that I related to in the sense of mental toughness, like in spaces that I lacked, or in like sometimes he would relate it to himself, or he would put a situation in to make you understand. And I just read the book and I felt like, okay, like I relate to that moment. I relate to that moment. So it was literal tips on how you can stop this from happening, how you can stop this lack of mental toughness. So hands down, I would recommend this one. Another one I'm reading is Let's Talk About Down There. And this is a book about from an OBGYN. Her name is Jennifer Lincoln. I started following her page on YouTube. And I started following her page because I was trying to figure out what soaps works best for that down there. And I was having a hard time. And I found her video and she recommended a couple soaps. One is the Vanity Cream Gentle Cleanser, which I still use today. Now this book, like I'm not going to lie, I didn't read it all the way through. This book I skimmed through like on occasions. If I have any questions about my body, I just skim through it and I go to that section, and it literally has a section for most of the things and most of the questions you have in regards to down there. So this is not a book that I've read in totality. This is not a book I've read in totality. This is not a book that I've read in totality. This is not a book that I read in totality. So basically, one of the chapters is birth control basics. A lot of us can relate to that. Possibly pregnant, going to the doctor, period puzzles, boric acid suppositories. Do they work? That's on page 85. And I know a lot of y'all been taking them boric acid suppositories, and I don't even want to say y'all because I done bought some myself. But basically, it's a good book for all the ladies out there that want to know more about down there. This book is also another book that I haven't fully read. And I say the two that I haven't fully read for last for that reason. The reason I haven't fully read this is it's a Pray More, a woman's devotional guide to anxiety-free living. So it's not really like, it's a book, obviously, but it has sections, and each page is something different for you to learn about yourself. So the last one that I read was Happy and Blessed. I don't know if you can see it. The last one I read was Happy and Blessed. Gabriel told Mary that God favored her and she would be giving birth to his son. When she wondered how that would happen, the angel explained the details. Then he told her that once her barren cousin Elizabeth had conceived at her old age, for no promise of God can fail to be fulfilled. So basically it says, blessed are you, young woman. Oh, how happy is a woman who believes in God, for he does make his promises to her come true. I just needed to hear that. It's like, oh, how happy is the woman who believes in God, for he does make his promises to her come true. Like, that was the last one that I read over, and I basically skimmed through. It's not like chapters. It's like each page is a different devotional guide, if that makes sense. So pick up the book and you'll see it's a cheap book. It's not like, I think it's less than $10. But basically, that one is good. Just I read one of those every morning, or just like if I'm in a bad mood, or if I just need like something to calm my spirit. Like, but I liked that one. That was the last page I read, and I liked it because it's just like, oh, how happy is a woman who believes in God. If you keep faith, happiness will come. If you keep being thankful, if you keep staying focused, if you keep believing, happiness will come. So next I'm going to get into some books that I want to buy, and I'm actually going to send out a book list to all my friends and family so they can send me books that I want to read. And since we're on the topic, I started off in high school reading books, and the books that I was reading back then were like Coldest Winter Ever. I was reading a lot of like Terry McMillan and like stuff like that. I started off reading stuff where it's just like a lot of crazy stuff going on, and I decided that I didn't want to read those kind of books anymore because I was listening to this lady the other day, and she was basically saying that like she felt like she had made her relationship like a soap opera because she had seen so many soap operas. Sometimes we be reading books, sometimes we be watching reality TV shows, and we feel like that is the way to go. So at some point in my life, I was looking at the Coldest Winter Ever, and I was like, oh, I want to be like the Coldest Winter Ever. Like I want to be like the girl in the Coldest Winter Ever. Like I just felt like at this point in my life, I'm not really trying to model my life like that anymore. So I stopped reading that kind of stuff because I do feel like it gets into your mind and sticks into your mind. So just trying to change my mindset and be in a different space. That's not to say that I am perfect, just to say that I'm working. Anyways, we're going to get into the books that I want. So some of the books that I want are I think I'll actually try to put the books here. This will be my first time doing this. So if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. If it doesn't, I'll cut it out. But one of the books that I want to read is The 4 Agreements. And these 4 agreements are for personal happiness and health. Another is The 48 Laws of Power. It's a self-explanatory title. It's 48 Laws of Power. Another book that I want to read is The Alchemist. I've been hearing a lot of great things. Oh, and there's a book by Jim Rohn, I believe. Jim Rohn. And he's a motivational speaker that I've been listening to a lot. And I think it's called Personal Wealth Tips. It's like a yellow and red book. So those are the kind of books that I'm trying to read moving forward. Just things that like expand my mindset. If you have any recommendations for me, feel free to put them down in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.